start off with the Standard. Ruto on US radar. Fallout in a stunning rebuke. The US Senate is weighing whether to strip Kenya of its coveted major and NATO ally status just a year after granting the honor. At the heart of the fallout, allegations of Nairobi's ties to rogue armed groups, abductions and torture of civilians, and alignments with China, Russia, and Iran. The proposed amendment demands a sweeping reassessment of US-Kenya military and intelligence ties, a potential diplomatic blow that could isolate President Ruto's government and redefine America's partnerships in the country. And they draw here some of the stories that have been done by this newspaper. RSF weapons trail, that is a report by the UN that linked Kenya to Sudan RSF arms supply using JKIA for logistics. And of course, abductors playground. And Albert Ojwang makes it again on the front page here. And I think ile visit to China, they may later issue diet.
Remember, just before he went to China, President William Ruto was supposed to host the US Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, here in Nairobi. Alisikika anaenda China, waka-cancel your visit hapo. Yes.
So in short, tunaambiwa tuwezi kuwa tuna pride ourselves in being a military partner, and yet
but
a lot is happening.
What you should be considering is, okay, what is at stake? Fine, wakifanya hivi, if they cut ties, what does it mean to Kenya? There's a lot of budgetary dependence, especially military. Because the US, if they have bases in Kenya and what, inamaanisha kuna pesa inaingia. Sasa kama non-NATO ally, atatolewa hiyo.
Na tulipata tu last year. Kwani we are doing badly?
Hiyo ilitoka kwa the Biden administration.
Kwa nini? Why can't we maintain that partnership?
Well, Trump is another issue altogether.
E-citizen ownership deceit. This is another one. Graft conduct. Kenya's digital gateway is now a crime scene. A damning audit reveals that e-citizen platform may have hemorrhaged 9.4 billion shillings in public funds through shady contracts, untraceable payments, and unauthorized bank transfers. Lawmakers want the platform scrapped, its contract with private vendor Webmaster Kenya Limited terminated, and a probe launched into billions funneled through shadowy accounts. A lot of money going to e-citizen cannot be accounted for.
Yeah, the funny thing, if you've ever tried e-citizen and then you paid through that pay bill number, alafu unangojea, see, they're supposed to send you a response so that you can go to the next step. And then it fails to do that. What do most people do? They pay again. So there's about 2.8 billion shillings that Kenyans have been overcharged through double payment, na pesa zingine tu zimeenda hivi unajipata umelipa umechajiwa, you should not have paid. 2.9 billion shillings imeingia tu kwa your system.
And also this report revealed that some of that money is going to somebody's account, personal account. 10
billion shillings. Na sasa hiyo hatuna pesa ya capitation.
Yeah, we are doing bad things.
Remember, they even directed parents to pay school fees through the same e-citizen. Alafu pesa ya capitation hakuna.
The inside page is House team threatens to impeach Mbadi, PS Kipto for contempt. The National Assembly Committee accuses the National Treasury of abdicating duty. Treasury Kenya Power expected to shed light on a 30 billion shillings rural electrification program. Mombasa TikToker arraigned in court over his social media post. Ruto in eye of a storm. Of course, that story, the US, us being on the US radar. Raila's sudden opposition to NGCDF sends mixed signals. Duale urged senators to pass tough law regulating unsafe substances. And on the back page of the Standard, matters Chan here. Austin is hungry for more goals after skinning DR Congo's Leopards. That is Rolls-Royce, the Gor Mahia midfielder, is promising to bring down Angola tomorrow.
If they do that, more millions.
More millions.
Just like that. By the end of this tournament, only one game, we've already become billionaires. What are the chances that they will win at least 3-4 games in this tournament?
All they need is fans to just show up for them. Itatosha wanaweza score.
There's enough motivation.
Enough motivation. Kesho will be, I think itakuwa 7 p.m. Yes, na Angola. Kenya versus Angola. That's the Standard.
Right, from the Standard, we go to the Daily Nation, which has the same story as a top story here. US probe Kenyan officials over RSF links and abductions. Unajua, on the Standard wameenda tu wakasema straight Ruto on US radar. Matters diplomacy, U.S. Senator and Chairman of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, Jim Risch, who criticized President William Ruto in May for his dalliance with China, has petitioned Congress to sanction a probe by President Donald Trump's administration against Kenyan officials of abductions, links to Sudan's RSF, and ties to China, Russia, and Iran. The same thing, meaning that there could be consequences. Direct consequences for some Kenyan officials, not just the president. You know, some time back, there were people who were denied entry to the US na visas. Unaambiwa, no, you are not welcome to the US. Fana Kasirika anasema hatutaki kuja. Kwa nani waliambia tunataka kuja huko kwenu? But yes, some officials could be barred from traveling to the US. This could be some of the results of this probe. And this one, at least the Daily Nation has brought to the front page the ongoing music festival in Meru, focused on social ills as pupils light up festival. So social challenges that Kenyans are facing dominated themes as primary school presented various items during the Kenya National Music Festival at the Meru Teachers Training College yesterday. That's a big story there. Your graft also makes it to the front page. Graft registers decline, but the usual suspects still top corruption. And I think I've seen this list on the front page of one of the papers. Journalists lazima wako hapo, lakini at least you will be surprised. We are not the most corrupt. Nasemekananga journalists wanapenda brown envelope sana. Utashangaa ni nani wengine corrupt zaidi. Bankers are doing worse than us. Yes, kule nyuma Uganda cranes heavily weighed down by history. Uganda becomes first host to lose opening match since 2009. Poleni kwenu. Harambee Stars millions and how it will be paid. I know this story has excited quite a number of Kenyans. Wanashangaa hiyo pesa inatoka wapi. If you need to know more details about the millions being given to Harambee Stars, there's a story on the back page of the Daily Nation. All right.
The Star revealed Orengo in US for medical treatment, and deputy calls for twos as speculation swirls over governor's whereabouts. Tuambie.
Story iko hapa, sio page 4 and 5. Wameenda wapi?
Page 6.
Page 6.
Yes.
Yes, Siaya governor is currently in the United States for what insiders have confirmed are medical reasons as concerns mount over his prolonged absence from public life and the leadership vacuum it has created in the county. But why should there be a vacuum? There's a deputy governor. Yes. This paper has established that this prominent lawyer departed the country on June 23rd through JKIA. Yes. All right. So yes, hapana kuuliza maswali mingi. The Star has done you justice. You can read on what's happening.
Mgonjwa. ODM alisema haja resign, ni mgonjwa tu.
Hiyo ku resign ndio msikuja kuleta rumors hapa. Homa kabisa.
A report paints grim picture of impact of mental health underfunding. And Gao is an intern doctor. This is a special feature, but indeed there is quite so much underfunding in regards to mental health. Bribes, most common form of corruption survey, and professionals perceived to be involved in corruption topping the list, police officers at 37.6%.
Yeah, KRA, chiefs, lawyers are doing worse. And as far as receiving bribes, lawyers musikuja kusema ati journalists tuko kule chini. In fact, 5.1%, we're not so bad. Bankers, accountants, engineers, teachers, even university lecturers are more corrupt than journalists. Na kila saa journalists wamenunuliwa kabisa.
Journalist mgani nakuja seme. On the top strip, 2 PSs summoned after audit exposes multi-billion shilling roads in eCitizen. And US initiatives review of Kenya's non-NATO ally status and cities China ties. Cites China ties.
There's a story there on page 7 of this paper. Wale wanapenda uraibu wa shisha. The health CS alisema the problem is, I know it is banned, yeah, but you cannot arrest and arraign anyone in court because we have no laws to charge people for smoking shisha. So what exactly are we saying? Ni CS amesema, sio mimi. CS Aden Duale.
That's the Star, fresh, independent and different.
Right. Ngome za ufisadi, EACC yaanika kaunti, wizara, idara na tume za serikali ambazo hongo hutolewa zaidi kabla ya kuhudumiwa. Kaunti kama Uasin Gishu, kiasi cha hongo kwa kila kisaa 25,000. Wizara ya usalama wa ndani, this is Interior Ministry. 48.8, hiyo ni jina. Hapana, hii ifai kwa jina, ni asilimia 47%. Idara nyingine Kenya Police 38%. Hapa hongo ni lazima TSC, Wizara ya Leba na Ulinzi wa Raia, NSSF, KWS na Hazina ya Kitaifa, Unit Treasury, asilimia 100. Yani if you go to TSC, NSSF, Kenya Wildlife Service or Treasury, uko ni lazima. Hapa hongo ni lazima.
To a bribe.
Hiyo ni lazima, si ati ni chances, si ati lazima utaitishwa bribe.
And it's funny because Nairobi is not even in the top list counties.
Sometimes Nairobi huwa inapewa tu jina mbaya, lakini sio mbaya sana.
Uasin Gishu, who would have imagined? Bomet.
Kaunti za Uasin Gishu na Baringo, Wizara ya Usalama wa Ndani chini ya Murkomen, Idara ya Polisi, Shirika la NSSF na Tume ya TSC ni miongoni mwa taasisi zinaongoza kwa ufisadi. Na kuna picha pale wanamnukuu mwenyekiti wa Tume ya Maadili na Ukabili Ufisadi EACC anaitwa Askofu David Oginde. Vidokezo zaidi kwenye ukurasa wa mbele wa gazeti la Taifa Leo. Mabaki ya samaki yana riziki tamu. Fahamu jinsi ya kuchuma hela katika jarida lako kule ndani. Masuala ya Chan, Uganda Cranes nayo yakosa milioni 43. Wale ambao watapewa walikosa zawadi hiyo ya Rais Museveni baada ya kulazwa na Algeria. Mnaambiwa mtapata milioni, mnaenda mnafungwa mabao. Ole wenu. Speaker ajitetea hawakingi wa bunge. This is about the recall clause. The Speaker Moses Wetangula spoke yesterday and said no, Parliament is not to blame. IEBC ndio inafaa ilete hiyo law, then once ikifika Parliament tutaongea. Wanasema, but he said, he was very honest, he said it is rather weird to expect a member of Parliament to propose a law that would actually lead to his recall. So IEBC should do it. Hitilafu ya e-Citizen, shilingi bilioni 9 zapotea, na mkaguzi abaini dosari ya kimfumo, ukora nao limeza 2.5. Na Uhuru tayari kuunga Raila akitema Ruto. Yesterday Jubilee Party held a high level meeting. Na wakasema hao wako nyuma ya baba.
Taifa Leo. People Daily, acha tuanze na hiyo ya Jubilee. Uhuru's Jubilee in fresh strategy ahead of 2027 polls. What you've talked about, and this photo here, retired President and the Jubilee Party leader Uhuru Kenyatta when he virtually chaired the Outreach National Executive Committee meeting at Nairobi yesterday. The main headline here is Maraga war on Ruto armed with the Bible. Unlike his rivals, former CJ is a political greenhorn, making his first stab at elective politics with his unexpected candidature as he has starred the waters. Amesema hana pesa,
lakini akona Biblia.
Akona Biblia na ata turn to the public.
All right.
Si hata 2022 tulikuwa na Biblia. Well, don't come for me though. On the top strip of the People Daily, TV journalist doubles his newsroom prowess, okay, with wild good farming.
Lakini mambo ya Biblia kweli tunafaa tusikize when it comes to politics sana, ati sasa nimekuja na Biblia.
Ni kama, that's the cheat code.
Yeah, okay. Business, how 150 saccos disappeared with Kuscco's 1.3 billion shillings. This is the umbrella body for saccos. It has turned to the state for assistance in tracing 150 saccos. Tracing, sababu zilikuwa lakini sasa haziko. That borrowed 1.3 billion in loans before going dormant or closing up shop. 1.3 billion alafu mnafunga? Naweza wakujia. Forex reserves fall by 65 billion on external debt repayments. On the ticker, factories and service firms hardest hit by protests and fuel prices. TikTok deletes over 450,000 videos in Kenya for violations.
Where?
That's a new one. And I'm not seeing it on any other paper. Yeah.
Tuko na tabia mbaya.
And pension schemes post 30% return on equities rally. Yeah, here TikTok ni kama, I agree with them. Some people need to be reined in.
Yeah.
That's a business daily.
All right. Those are the stories making headlines in the country.
A reminder that we'll be having these legislators in studio in a short while. John Nyoto, Senator Muranga, Duncan Maina Madhen.